Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Students of the third grade English Department, College of Basic Education, Misan University. Assalamu alaikum. Today we have a critical commentary about the Stronger by August Strindberg. So we are going to discuss the play, which is one act play, in detail. The first thing that we have to start with is the plot. Plot means the serial action of the events in the play. In the play, okay. Mrs. X and Miss Y. These are the two characters, the main characters in the play. They are Mrs. X, which is Mrs. X, whose name Mrs. X, and Mrs. X. We have two characters, as I mentioned. We have two characters. The first character is Mrs. X, who's married actress, and Miss Y, whose name is Amelia, who is Mrs. X and Miss Y meet in a corner cafe on a Christmas Eve. So Christmas Eve, it is a great occasion for the followers of Christianity religion. Mrs. X starts greeting and talking to Miss Y. Greeting, say hello, and talking to Miss Y. After greeting, she criticizes her for loneliness. Criticizes her, scold her, say rude words or speech upon her, and talks badly about her loneliness. So Mrs. X supposes that in such occasion, in such a very important occasion of Christianity, a woman like Amelia should not be alone. I mean, should not be single. She should have a husband. Um, then Mrs. X keeps talking and revealing memories. Revealing memories, remind her of some incident or some, memories that have taken place between the two women. Till we know Miss Y was Mrs. X's husband lover. And then this is the first truth, that Mrs. X is Miss Y, who's single, bachelor, is Mrs. X husband's lover or sweetheart. I mean, there is love relationship between Mrs. X, between Mrs. X husband, whose name Bob, and Miss Y, whose name is Amelia. Mrs. X tells Miss Y that she destroyed her life. She destroyed her life. You affected my life. You affected my life. You influenced my life, and she changed her life. After that Miss Y influences Mrs. XY completely, definitely. But later she said that she's stronger, and then she told her or tells her that she's stronger than her. I mean, than Miss Y, and all what happened. And in the end, she says that she will leave the cafe to go home to make love with her husband. So this is the end of the plot. We know that the plot here is dramatic. You can say monologue. We know that only one person speaks all through the play, all through the play. Yes, all through the play. So one person speaks all over the play. No one else speak. And when Miss Y is to speak, Miss Hence her from speaking. Now we come to climax. Climax means the peak of the action. The peak of the action means the top of the action. Yeah, the actions raises like this, then they reach the toppest, the toppest, the toppest of the events. Then the events fall down till they reach the end. حتى يصلون إلى النهاية. Yes. Um, uh, yes. Then what do we have? So in the climax, what do we have in the climax? The climax here we have what? The climax is yes. The climax here, the climax of the play is when Mrs. X expresses the reality. Mrs. X expresses the reality. I mean, Mrs. X, the reality. What is reality? What is the truth? Oh, I mean, she expresses. I mean, the truth about the relationship between her husband, Mr. Bob, and Miss Y, whose name is Amelia. Sorry. The climax of the play is when Mrs. X expresses the reality and tells Miss Y, I hate you. Oh, I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. Here she says that she hates her and she had eaten her from inside. Eaten her from she has eaten her from inside. Eaten her from inside, you know, eaten her from inside, that she affected her and she destroyed her and she uh, you know ate her from inside, that is nothing left from her, only a little black dust drop. Yes. And tells her that she cannot keep a man's love, but she can steal it away from others. And she, um, scold her, I mean, rebuke her, and saying that you cannot keep. I mean, this is, I mean, Mrs. Y, speaks with Miss uh, Mrs. X, sorry, speaks with Miss Y and tells her that you cannot keep man, you couldn't keep whom Mr. Bob, but I kept him. I kept him. But you are stealing, you're robbing, you are just like a thief tried to steal the husbands of the other woman. Here we can feel the weakness of Mrs. X, and we can see Miss Y is the stronger. In this point, uh, I mean, this is one of the signals or signs that tells that Mrs. X is weak, but Miss Y is strong, or the stronger. Now we come to the conflict, الصراع, the struggle, conflict between two characters. Of course, one of them is hero and one of them is enemy, or we can call them, the first one is the hero and the other one is the rival, الخصم, or we can call them protagonist, البطل, and antagonist, الخصم. The conflict of the play is between Mrs. X, will, إرادة, will here means إرادة, against Miss Y, will. Mrs. X tries to keep other women away from her husband. Keep other women here from her husband. Yani she tries to, not let the other woman to interfere in her life, and to safeguard her family, and fights whoever comes to her way. Fights means to no face any woman who comes to or approach to her husband. On the other hand, Miss Y is in love with Mrs. X's husband, and she wills to gain her love. Of course, Miss Y tries to restore what Mr. Bob. And Mrs. X keeps talking throughout the play, and Miss Y doesn't say a word, but her silence and her facial expression tells so much. Her facial expressions, يعني تعبير الوجه, tell something. What is the things that her facial expression tell? Let us see. At the end, and if judging appearance, if we evaluate by appearance the expressions of the face and the movement, body signs, we find cause. Yeah, by facial expressions, we find Miss Y. What is the reason? What is the cause? Because she is able to keep. Because she is able to keep her house. Keep her house safe. Save her house. Safeguard her house. And her husband, her children. While Miss Y is lonely and sitting in the cafe. Lonely and sitting in the cafe. Alone. To to do whatever her husband wants. Is a way of eating, and his love for eating, and also, yes, and also taught him what to read, what kind of books, what kind of writers or authors to read. Now we come to Miss Y. Is also a character, also affected to be similar to Miss, and by what Mrs. X tells about her changes to be similar to Miss Y. We know that about what is her favorite things and